can actually save 1 million lives per year, and it can reduce the risk of diseases such as diarrhea by approximately 50%. The Global Handwashing Day is being observed tomorrow. The awareness campaign is dedicated to raising awareness of hand washing with soap as a key approach to disease prevention. To tell us more about the day, we joined in our studios in Johannesburg by Sibonile Dube from Unilever. Sisi, good morning and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Belisa. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming through. As I was reading the script before we came here on air, it should be a habit. Coincidentally, that is the theme for the Global Handwashing Day 2016.
Yes, it is. So Global Handwashing Day is observed by over 200 million people in over 100 countries globally on the 15th of October every year. But it's not to say that's the only day that people should actually practice hand washing. It's just a day that we observe where we're trying to create that behavior, especially amongst children, to say each time you do certain things, 5 key occasions, you must wash your hands.
Talking about children, Sibonile, yesterday you were at a school in Alexandra educating learners about the importance of washing their hands, specifically with soap.
Yes.
Do they know the importance of washing their hands?
So, Balisa, what we've done through the Unilever Bright Future program, we take them through a behavior change program where they actually have that lessons that are taught to them as to why they should wash their hands, how they should wash their hands. You don't just wash your hands, but there's a special way of washing your hands. And as you know, children are magnets of information. They capture information very quickly. And the nice thing about talking to primary school children is that they go out and talk to friends, they talk to families
and
their parents, they actually teach their parents.
I remember my 4-year-old was telling me that teacher said we should wash our hands and brush our teeth before we go to bed. So the message gets relayed even to the elders.
Yes, you as the parent also capture that message. And, that's the one group of children that we deal with. We also have a neonatal phase where we're talking to mothers and communities. I don't know if a lot of people know that the first 28 days of your child's life are very critical, because that is when people must know that they must have clean hands when they handle babies. Each time before you handle a baby, you should actually wash your hands. And I don't think a lot of people know that. But their immune system is not strong enough to actually fight any viruses that, people come, in their hands, the germs and everything. And ideally, parents shouldn't let anybody touch their child, at least in the first 3 months.
I believe that's why you get sanitizers everywhere when you go into maternity wards and hospitals.
True. Yeah. It's for that purpose.
Yeah. But then, Sibonile, what will it take to achieve mass behavior change, especially here in the African continent?
It's interesting that you mentioned the African continent, because that is where we have a lot of issues around water and sanitation and access to water infrastructure. It's also interesting because in Africa, close to 2.5 million children are not able to reach their 5th birthday, and 40% of that is due to diarrheal diseases and respiratory diseases. But I think through partnerships, which is what we have done, we've partnered with UNICEF, we've partnered with the Department of Education, you are able to have a wider reach. The impact is wider because they bring the technical know-how, they give us access to the schools, and we provide the soap, which is the essential part of the whole exercise around hand washing.
Talking about the accessibility of water, let's talk about the accessibility of soap. For someone who's watching will be like, to bath. So what more to have soap to wash my hands with?
So Lifebuoy has really been very active in that space, because we have made the product available in hospitals and clinics. We like I said, we're partnering with government now. So in schools, we make sure that we have that accessibility in schools so that the children are able to wash their hands. And I'm sure you will know, Lifebuoy has been here since 1894. It's one of the long living brands that we have across the globe, and it's been one of those competitively priced soaps that people can access.
All right, talk to us about the useful tips on washing your hands, the correct way of doing it.
The correct way, I wish I had brought one of the kids. They would demonstrate better. But one of the things that you need to do is you have to interlock your hands, you have to rub your thumbs, you also have to rub your nails. That's some of the things that you need to practice when you wash your hands. And a lot of people will just put their hands under the running tap and
you see a lot of
and run off
to public toilets
and go to public toilets. And it's also unfortunate that people do not understand that when you don't wash your hands, you are actually spreading all sorts of illnesses, and others even don't use the right facilities for them to relieve themselves, for example, and then after that they go and shake your hands and maybe go and touch your baby, as I was mentioning earlier.
And then what about those with long nails? Do
Those
they
with
need to
long
do it
nails,
in a certain way?
we have to, as I explained to you, we have to rub our nails definitely, because the ladies love their nails.
We do,
But
eh?
as long as you keep them clean and ensure that you're using soap. Soap is the key element of everything here, so that you're
That's why you get
dealing
nail brushes, so that you
nail
put
brushes, yes,
soap into your nails and then you brush it.
and you get into those areas that you typically wouldn't be able to access when you just wash your hands.
Now, Sibonile, going back to the public toilets, when you go into a public toilet at a time, you don't find hand wash soaps. But shouldn't it start there as well?
The public spaces are very critical for communicating the practice of hand washing, and I'm glad to say that we've had partners like the Department of Water and Sanitation, the Department of Health, the Department of Education, who are the agents that are able to access the public. And again, I'll go back to the issue of partnerships. They are the ones that can actually help us to reach out to the public, and I think Department of Water and Sanitation has looked at ways of partnering with us so that we make the soap accessible wherever it's possible.
All right, so the day is being observed tomorrow. Any
Tomorrow, the
activities that are lined up?
We've done our activities at the schools yesterday, but it's not to say that is the only activity that we do, but we marked it yesterday. Throughout the year, there are all sorts of activities like teaching the children. Yesterday we had our first graduates our first hand washing graduates as part of our Bright Future program, graduating at MC Wheeler. So we'll roll out a whole series of activities throughout the year, just to make sure that the message carries on throughout the year.
So, bafihla jwang ma ba graduate, and do they go through certain courses? Maybe is there a process?
Yes, so bayafundiswa nje through their curriculum, through Department of Education. We fit that into their curriculum, and it's they say if you want to create a behavior, make sure you're doing something every day for 21 days. So we make sure that they don't lose that momentum, and by the time we're done, it becomes a lifestyle.
It does,
So they've graduated now, and they'll go out and teach other people. We've challenged them that each one of them should look for at least 5 people that they'll go and teach what they've learned.
Sure, wonderful. Sibonile, that's where you're going to leave it for this morning, but thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Palisa, for having me.
Thank you very much. There you have it, Sibonile Dube joining us this morning. She is from Unilever, talking about Global Handwashing Day that will be observed tomorrow. We're taking a break. Morning Life continues after this.